Hi everyone, hope you're all doing well, and today we're going to talk about Beyond Meat stock. And we're going to talk about Beyond Meat because I was actually going to do this video last week, but a lot of stuff happened last week, so I never got around to making it. But this week I am going to make this video on Beyond Meat because I want to make a video sticking up for it. I've seen a lot of negativity out there with it being the media or YouTube, a lot of negativity around this stock, and I feel like a lot of the negativity around this stock is very unfair, and I'll go through the reasons why today I think it's unfair, and I think this is actually a very decent investment at these sort of prices at the moment. So yeah, I'm going to do a video sticking up for my stock because, like I said, I feel like there's a bit of an agenda out there with Beyond Meat. It's always had it, but especially at the moment there's a lot of negativity out there to this stock, so we're going to go through that today. So if it is useful, hit the like button and we'll get stuck into it. So Beyond Meat, it's been a bit of a weird year really for Beyond Meat. It's pretty much really flat this year. It's not really done much, but if we look at the actual share price, there has been points where the stock has kind of shot up throughout the year. So we had this first point here where the stock went up to a very decent price of nearly $180. I believe this was the spike on the back of the PepsiCo deal, which was a very good deal, which we'll talk about in a second. But yeah, there was the initial spike of the Pepsi deal. I actually took a little bit of profit here because when you look at this, when you see a reaction of a stock price where it like shoots up, 60% within like a week, you're normally thinking, is that a fair valuation change? Because you're thinking, that's a big move. So that's when I kind of looked at Beyond Meat and I thought, Pepsi deal is absolutely huge for the company, but realistically, right now, does that deserve the stock to be, or the company to be valued 60% more where it was a week ago? Maybe you could argue the case of 10-20%, but not 60. So I did take a little bit of profit here, and then the stock price fell all the way back down again, and I actually then put my money back into the company, and then we've had a little bit of a spike up since then, a bit of a recovery in May, but since then, once again, it's downtrending. So it is important to say that it is kind of getting back to where that bottom range again, but obviously that's short term. Obviously I'm investing this in the long term for 100%, 2 to 5 years. But just on the point of view of this is that this always happens. A lot of people have the wrong mentality with stocks, and I believe because what happens is here we had a lot of negativity around Beyond Meat, and that stock kept downtrending. And right here, people were like, "Oh yeah, Beyond Meat's an awful stock. You should own it because it's been on an awful downtrend." And then it has a spike up, and everyone stops talking about it negatively. But because the stock's now back downtrending and everyone's talking about it negatively again, rather than the opposite mindset where you should be, okay, is this actually a stock to buy? It's the same when stocks go up. Everyone starts talking about the stocks that are going up and up and up. They're like, "Oh, that stock's amazing. I wish I bought it." Or maybe it's not too late to buy it. Maybe I should go buy it now. And you'll see that quite often is people get that FOMO of when stocks are going up, and the same happens when stock goes down. When the stocks are going down, that's when you see the peak negativity out there with a lot of stocks, and that's the mindset that you really don't want to have with the stock market. You want to have more of the opposite mindset of like, "Oh, the stock's going up," rather than it being, "Oh, look at that stock, it's absolutely amazing. Maybe I should, buy that stock." You should have more of the mindset of, "Oh, that's been on a good run. Maybe I should take profit." And same when stocks are going down, rather than going, "Oh yeah, it's an awful stock." You should go, maybe that's a buying opportunity. Maybe the stock's going down, but the company's still doing very well. And I feel that's exactly what's also going on with Beyond Meat right now, is that mindset. Because the stock is downtrending at the moment, this is why you're seeing like a lot of negativity out there towards this stock. But just to point this out, like, I'm not making this up, like there is a lot of negativity out there. There's a lot of negativity on YouTube. I'm not going to put any kind of videos on here saying who and what, I don't want to cause any drama, but from the point of view of like the media is really negative to the company as well. I don't mind calling Seeking Alpha about this out. You'll see here, if you go on analysts here, you'll look one negative article, a second negative article, a third negative article here. And then we do have a bit of positivity going on here, but you can see there's 3 negative articles in a row on Seeking Alpha about Beyond Meat, and yeah, it is at the moment getting talked about very negatively. Now, I'm not going to go too into depth about why Beyond Meat, in my opinion, is a buy. This is more of a video just kind of countering the negative arguments, but if you want to see like my bull case on Beyond Meat, I've got plenty of other videos out there on the YouTube channel, so do check them out if you want more of that. But yeah, one of the recent news that has come out with Beyond Meat is that it is now moving into chicken, which is pretty good. So obviously what's going to happen with Beyond Meat is they're going to expand that range. Obviously chicken is now getting added, and this will also go into the grocery stores, so this should also help sales hopefully in like the next coming 12 months period, I guess. And also that will also go into the food service part of the company as well. So that's a really good extension. Also moving into milk as well. So those are little extensions with the company over the last kind of couple of months, which I'm really starting to like. But probably one of the big criticism, I see two criticisms of this company that's used a lot by the short sellers, and that's one of the partnerships, and number two is about the growth slowing. So just on the part of the partnerships that they have, obviously they've landed one of the biggest. Let's be honest. Let's say, as a fake meat product, what is the biggest partnership you can have, especially as a probably your main product's being a fake burger basically. What's the biggest partnership you can land? McDonald's. How many thousands of stores? I can't even remember. I think it's like 30 or 40,000 stores McDonald's have at the moment. Beyond Meat at the moment have just obviously landed the McDonald's deal over the last couple of months. Now what people thought about this deal is there was the initial reaction, and then there's the kind of phase of, when we're actually going to start seeing some proof of this McDonald's partnership in action, because since it was announced, there's a lot of rumours, and then eventually it was announced, and it's now starting to get rolled out. There's a few places that are starting to have it. Netherlands, we've started to have a few locations in the UK. It's slowly starting to roll out, and people think like when these deals are announced, like the McDonald's partnership, it's instant. It's going to be in the financials straight away. It's not instant. The reason why McDonald's are partnering up with Beyond Meat is because to expand in this range, there's just so much market research they would have to do, and all that far down there. But even now, this kind of proves why Beyond Meat McDonald's are going to use Beyond Meat, because even through the point of that they would have to actually create the burger, they have to put the production in place. What they have to do now is, you've got to remember, this is a vegetarian option on the McDonald's menu. So they have to get it all prepared to have like them stations in the store, how they're going to roll it out, how they're going to market it, how they're going to sell it, how they're going to get the production to the actual McDonald's locations. There's a lot that still goes into it, and that's why the rollout takes a long time. Trial it in a few places, make sure it worked. Okay, that's locations down here, sales compared to that location, why is that happening? So that they don't go nationwide instantly, because if it flops, then that's no benefit to McDonald's, who spend all this money trying to get it out there, and it's no benefit to Beyond Meat, who want the partnership to succeed. So these rollouts take a while, and even though people are like, when's this McDonald's going to start showing up in the numbers, it will take a 12-24 months period. It wasn't a deal of we announce it and then it automatically starts showing in the financials, and people don't realize that. And this is something that will start building up into the income in the next kind of 12-24 months, which is really exciting. A lot of this isn't shown in the financials yet, so you've got to start adding this partnership on. And same with the Pepsi. The Pepsi deal got announced, stock price goes up 60%, and now it's pretty much back down to where we were at before, even pre-Pepsi deal. And you look at the Pepsi deal, and once again, it announced a partnership. That doesn't mean sales are going to come in straight away. They have to kind of market that, they've got to do the research on it, and it takes a while to kind of build that up. And you see here, this isn't even going to come into the sales until next year. This is going to take 12-24 months to even start showing signs in the sales. So yeah, even though these deals are announced and it's exciting to get about, people are expecting these to show up in the financials. If anything, these aren't in the financials yet, and Beyond Meat are smashing it, and this is something to get even excited for further down the line with Beyond Meat. And it's going to be a massive partnership from that point of view. So from the deal negativity, I don't really buy that, because like I said, they're great, but they're not in the financials yet, and I think people expect them to straight away be in the financials. And the last negative point of what people attack Beyond Meat for is their earnings recently. Now, Beyond Meat has two parts of the company. It has its actual stores where it sells a lot of its products through the supermarkets like your Tesco's, your Walmarts, and then there's the other part of the company, which is the food service. Food service, restaurants being shut down. Absolutely being shut down. Either they've been shut down or they've been limited capacity. So when you have half your income disappear, obviously that's going to affect the company, and people keep forgetting that they've lost half of their company. But even though they've lost half of the company, they have been smashing it. And the big thing that's starting to happen now, and this was evident in the recent earnings report, is that other half of the income is starting to come back now. And I think that's what people have been missing. Like I've said a long time, like I'm basically investing into a company that won't do good financials for a little bit. But what happened last quarter? We had the financials start to come back. And even right now, I don't think the stock price or the stock is getting enough credit that the company is now starting to come back, because the world's opening up. Food service is coming back, and the company, the other half of the company, is coming back again. And the company is going to be putting in some really good financials over the next 12 months, in my opinion, as long as food service stays open and we don't have a spike in cases or a variant, for example. So what you'll see in the recent earnings is they grew revenue at 31%, which is great. You know, this people say, oh, Beyond Meat hasn't got any more growth now. It just put in 31%, and this isn't back at full capacity yet. And I think there was a bit of negativity because their Q3 kind of went into a big range, 27 to 47%. But they did this last quarter. They're just covering if the variant gets bad or cases get bad and food service slows down. So that's why there's such a big range in it. So we'll see what happens. They did it last time and they came at top of the range. So yeah, even, you know, if they put in 27% growth, that's still pretty good. If they get to 47%, the argument of this, you know, the growth not being there anymore is absolutely rubbish, because 47% growth is fantastic. And once again, in the recent earnings, there was evidence that their food service part of the company is coming back again. The food service net revenues increased 218%. And that's what I said, half the company has been shut down and it's coming back, and people need to realise that. Net losses, once again, they're not losing as much money now, which is really good. And that's with the putting in the new production to meet demand, as well as that with the amount of production that they're doing, that's going to benefit them in the longer run. And at one point, Beyond Meat is going to get to the point where their products are actually cheaper than meat. When you're at that point, I mean, I don't know who's going to still choose a meat product. You know, people, why would you choose a process which is bad for the planet, you're harming animals, when you'll be able to get a product that nearly, or as they improve it, will taste better than meat, and it's going to be cheaper? That's going to be the ultimate turning point for Beyond Meat as well. So even from like that price point of view, and also from the amount of money they're losing, it's very limited now. And if we dig into the financials once again, you'll see here the food service and international side of it, which is growing huge now, 172%. The retail internationally, 198%, and food service as well on the US, 269% growth. You know, the only bit of a weak point was the US retail, which was down a little bit. But obviously you had the kind of surge in stockpiling back in Q2 last year. So that's a bit of a hard number to beat, but everything else is smashing it. That part of the company is coming back, and look at that international growth. You know, it's so strong. You know, the point is that international has the potential to take over the US, but this is it. The growth is coming back. The food service is opening up. So people that tell me that the growth story is dead on Beyond Meat, I don't know what to say, because the numbers there, numbers don't lie, and the numbers aren't lying right there. It is coming back, and like I said, you've had a company that has had half its business taken out of it, and now it's coming back, and people say it's struggling for growth only because half of it's been shut down, and that is coming back. And what is going to happen in my opinion, in the next kind of 12, 24 months, is you look at the share price here, when people go, oh, look at that, the food service is doing really well again, and the share price will go up. And at the moment, I think people are missing that, because, like I said, it's been hurt because people say, oh, there's no more growth left. But in my opinion, now, you know, looking at them financials, you can see it's coming back. And as more as the economy starts opening up, that growth will carry on growing, that food service will recover, and Beyond Meat, the story will change, the share price will change. And I think at the moment, you know, it's been an ugly kind of couple of months as a shareholder, but we have got to that turning point in Beyond Meat. And I think at some point people realise, oh yeah, Beyond Meat isn't struggling for growth, it's all right. And yeah, I think Wall Street will wake up to this one. And like I said, I think there's a lot of negativity out there, unfair negativity as well. And yeah, I think it's a really good company. And yeah, I feel like the share price has fallen off a cliff recently. But what has changed? Nothing. In fact, the fundamentals of the company have only got stronger over the last kind of, well, Q2. We've seen the other half of the company, the food service, recovering now. So hopefully that was a useful video for you guys, and just me kind of sticking up for my stock, my company that I invested in, because I feel like some of the negativity towards it is very unfair, and I'm very impressed with how they're smashing numbers at the moment. So yeah, I hope the video was useful. If it was, hit the like button, and I'll see you next video.